Hello, and welcome to Japanese Craft Beer Reviews. Today, we're going to take a look at one of the three mainstay beers from the Spring Valley Brewery, which technically is not a craft beer brewery, but it's a crafty beer brewery. And what does that mean? Well, Spring Valley is attached to one of the largest beer companies. It's a division of Kirin Beer, one of the largest beer companies in Japan. And it is their so-called craft line. And so the definition of craft beer, has gone through a number of iterations, and it's still problematic, I think. A lot of people say, well, it's whether you're attached to a larger company, so you're not completely independent. And other people say, well, it's how much beer you make. Do you make less than this amount? And of course, that has shifted. It's kind of a line that they have moved, especially in the U.S., to keep Sierra Nevada, which is like number 5 in the U.S. or 6 or 5 or something like that. So, it's kind of craft beer associations haven't really done their due diligence, I think, to provide a good definition. And do we really need one? I don't know. The whole word craft is kind of unclear these days. It's been attached to a lot of things. So not just craft beer, we have craft coffee, canned coffee, which is craft cola, things like that. So it's kind of a marketing term these days. In any case, back to Spring Valley. Spring Valley is the craft division of Kirin Beer Company. And first, a little bit of history. It was founded, technically Spring Valley was founded by a man named William Copeland in 1870. And he was actually from Norway and moved to the U.S. and apparently had studied brewing there, worked as a brewer there, and then changed his name to William Copeland. And in 1864, he came to Japan. This is not too long after Japan opened to the West. And he started his brewery in 1870 in the Yokohama area. And unfortunately, he was not a great businessman. And by 1885, he had to sell it to a group of Japanese businessmen. And they reopened it as Kirin Brewery in 1888. So, Spring Valley, the Spring Valley craft beer line actually started in, the idea came up in 2011, and in 2014 they put out their first beer, 2015, and it is Houjun 496, and that will be the first one I'll review. And in 2015 they opened a restaurant tap room in Yokohama, and also one in Daikanyama in Tokyo, and the Yokohama one has closed. It closed in March of this year, 2025. In 2017, they opened another one in Kyoto. In fact, they bought a very old building and remodeled it, and it's a kind of a flashy sort of restaurant and tap room for Kirin's beer, and especially Spring Valley beer, near Nishiki Market if you're in that area. In 2018, they did something else with their craft line. They opened what they call the Tap Marché project. And what is Tap Marché? Tap Marché it's kind of hard to explain, but I'll put a picture here. It is a very lightweight, portable sort of beer server, which can be easily installed in any restaurant or bar whatsoever, and supplied by Kirin. And they also supply of course, the beer to go along with it. And and this led to the spread of craft beer throughout Japan. And in other words, it's a very easy way for beer restaurants, bars to serve craft beer. They don't have to spend a ton of money on a big system and lines and all that sort of thing. So Kirin will supply the machine and supply the beer as well. And their basic lineup is the three mainstay beers. One thing I don't care for is the fact a lot of craft brewers kind of jumped on the bandwagon with them. I don't suppose I can blame them, but still it's kind of disappointing to see these craft beer breweries who are partnering with Kirin. And in any case, let's move along, and we're going to look at 3 different beers from the Spring Valley line, and let's get going with the first one, shall we? So here is the first of the beers I'm going to look at from Kirin. It is called Spring Valley Houjun Lager 496. This is an India Pale Lager, so a hopped up lager using Ibuki hops, and it's 6% alcohol by volume. And I wondered what is the 496, and it's not so easy to find out, but a little searching led me to the kind of marketing ideas that Kirin put out here. 496 is what's known as a perfect number, and in other words, it's equal to the sum of its divisors. And for example, if you take 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 31, 62, 124, 248, you will get 496. Add them up. And it is also the sum of the numbers 1 through 31. In other words, the number of days or nights in a month. So in other words, you can drink every day. Marketing, yeah. So what they're trying to do is signify the balance of character, the ease of drinking. You can have it every day. It's perfect, etc. Whatever. They also specify that it has 1.5 times the amount of malt in a regular Kirin lager. And they use a dip hop method for this. And what is that? Well, basically what they do is make a hop tea and then add it to a chilled fermenter. So it's not really dry hopping. I guess you'd call it wet hopping. After the beer has been brewed, putting a hop tea into the chilled fermenter. Okay. All right. Well, should we give this one a go? 496. Let's find out how perfect this be. Can something be more perfect than something else? A more perfect union. Oh boy, I better stop. Okay. So it is nice kind of copper gold color. Let's see what we get through the light. I see quite a bit of carbonation rising. Okay, about a finger of fluffy foam. Okay, very fruity nose. India Pale Lager, Ibuki hops. Fruity, lightly floral. Cheers. Okay, flavors a bit similar. There's a kind of grassiness too, and a kind of light bitterness in the background, which is not terribly pleasant. I'm assuming Ibuki is a bittering hop, but it really does have a rather floral, kind of fragrant sort of aroma. Interesting. The mid-palate bitterness I don't care for. Yeah, it kind of goes down smoothly, but it kind of disappears near the end, and the flavors kind of fall out. Gets a little bit fruit juicy, even prune juicy kind of. Like a blend of apple juice and fruit juice in the end. Yeah, but in the initial it's fine. Aroma is very interesting, very, very pleasant, lightly floral. Yeah, I would say, so you might want to give this one a go. Again, I'm not supporting this crafty beer line of Kirin. In fact, I probably won't buy it again. I'm doing this only for the video. I haven't picked up one of these in a long time. So, and I don't think I will again. But it's your choice. You want to try it out. I think you should probably try everything. You don't have to support them, or continue to buy them in any case. But Yeah, so I do look at all the beers from all the majors, definitely at least once, and some more than once. So Kirin does not put out a lot of beers, but they have really focused quite a bit on this Spring Valley line. So you should probably try it and see what you think. And if you do, please send me a message. Okay, I'd like to hear a comment from you if you want, and please do subscribe to the channel. Okay, that's it for now. Please do take care, stay healthy, and drink better beer. Bye bye.